Hi, thanks everyone for joining tonight. I got to say I'm super excited to be on the call tonight. Special thanks to all you who are on the webinar for the first time to Advocare and We Build Champions. And one of the reasons why I'm super excited tonight is because we're going to have the opportunity to talk about fueling the adolescent athlete. And sometimes in Advocare we talk about weight loss or health or financial situations for adults. But today is an exciting opportunity to focus on the youth and the kids in our country. So we're very fortunate today on the call. We have two awesome speakers. We have Drew Gentleman from Edwardsville, Illinois, and we have Brad from Birmingham, Alabama. But these two guys here have over 40 years combined experience in athletic training and in the field of working with athletes and students and kids. And more importantly, I think, is their parents. So they have kids. These two guys have tried the Advocare products, been on the Advocare products. They've been skeptics at point in time, but they've done their homework. They've done the research. And so I'm excited to have these guys talk to you tonight about the Advocare products. But before we do that, I just want to briefly introduce myself. And so if you'll see right here on the screen, and for those of you who are on the call, I apologize, you won't be able to see this picture, but in the top left corner, that's me and that's Snow about 3.5 years ago. And we were just extremely overweight at the time. My name's Kurt, and we're from Orlando, but at the time in that picture, you'll see we were extremely overweight. We were tired. We were just kind of in a rut. We were unhealthy and emotionally and physically. And Snow was the first one of us that found Advocare, and we got on the products, and combined in about 10 months we lost over 150 pounds. So it was absolutely life-changing. And it was also life-changing from a financial perspective. We were able to get involved with the Advocare business, and within 10 months we reached a level in Advocare called 6-Star Ruby, which pays an average about $100,000 a year. So for us, the products have been amazing and absolutely life-changing. So I'm going to tell you a little bit. I want to introduce Drew. These are the guys who really know about these student athletes. And Drew Gentleman, as I said earlier, is a current athletic coach and trainer for Edwards High School. He works with students in about every sport. He's been around for a long time. As I said, he's a parent, an all-around good guy, and he was a skeptic of the products. And Drew dug in, did his research, and more importantly, got on the product, great results, and has just been real joy working with Drew here in Advocare. So, Drew, are you on the line?
I am, Kurt. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Well, awesome. Well, Kurt, I want to thank you for that introduction, and also thank you and Snow and Brad for your patience, because I was a skeptic, and through our conversations, it seems like I might have been one of the most skeptical people you've ever shared Advocare with. So to kind of give people more of the background of my skepticism, I kind of want to tell you a little more about my past. At the young age of 20, I was very fortunate to be mentored by 4 of my training partners who are powerlifters, and 2 of them were nationally ranked. And they taught me the importance of good nutrition and how it pertained to my training. And between that and my sports med background and my strength and conditioning certification, I felt like I had all the answers when it came to sports nutrition. In August of last year, I was introduced to Advocare when I was working a pro tennis tournament by a fellow colleague of mine named Brad Skiff. And when he started talking about Advocare, folks, I immediately put up a wall. But I'm glad I kept an open mind. And he just kind of started sharing Advocare with me, and the information I'm going to share with you guys tonight is what I need to see before trying the products. And I decided to go on the 24-day challenge. After the first week, I felt better. After the second week, I had more energy. And at the end of the third week, I was getting workouts in when I was 25 years old. I turned 37 this past December. We fast forward about 3 months down the road, using some of the Performance Elite line, I gained 5 pounds of muscle, which is impressive for someone who's been resistance training for 17 years. And he's pretty clean and takes care of his body. We go back to the end of my 24-day challenge. Excuse me. I had 2 solutions to issues in my life. I was looking for a way to make some extra income. And through Advocare, just sharing good nutrition like I do on a daily basis, it's paid me a nice second income. Over the past couple months, I've ranged anywhere between $400 to extra $500 a month, which has paid car payments, also paid some of my utility bills. But even more important, before even being introduced to Advocare, my wife and I decided to bring a 15-year-old niece into our home, which allowed her to get a better education than a neighboring school district. And because of Advocare, we felt a zero financial burden of having her house. Also, at the end of my 24-day challenge, I finally realized that I was able to put my name and credibility on a line of supplements through Advocare because of their safety and their effectiveness. So what we want to do over the next couple minutes from two athletic trainers and strength coaches' perspective is show you what we needed to see before we were confident to try any of the products. And it all starts with our Science and Medical Advisory Board. All the doctors on our board, they're all either pharmacists, oncologists, urologists, and surgeons. From an athletic training perspective, I'm going to point out just a couple of them that impacted me when I was researching Advocare. The first one is Dr. Stanley Bedrick. He's not only the chairman of surgery at Yale, but this is also the doctor who created intravenous feeding. He did not create the IV, but he created total parenteral nutrition. You folks back in the 70s, Dr. Bedrick was having successful surgeries, but his patients were passing away because they weren't able to eat, and he solved that issue. Next doctor I want to talk about is Dr. William Kramer, who I was already familiar with. You can see he has a lot of fancy letters behind his name. Well, we both have one in common, and that's a CFCS, which is a Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. He was a former past president of the National Strength and Conditioning Association. He actually did an independent study on one of Advocare products and was so impressed with the results, he came to Advocare and wanted to know how he can be even more involved. The next doctor I want to talk about is Dr. Carl Keene. He's the Mars Chairman of Nutrition at the University of California, Davis. If you're not familiar with that institution, it's internationally known as one of the best nutrition schools. One of his main areas of research is how antioxidants play a huge role in our daily nutrition. Folks, after I saw this, I felt like a level of my skepticism was knocked down. And then I learned more about our Sports Advisory Council. These are my colleagues. These are athletic trainers and strength and conditioning coaches all throughout the United States, work in the trenches with athletes just like I do. And you can see here, we're representing Kansas, Auburn, North Carolina, Air Force, the list goes on and on. And if I felt that if these athletic trainers and strength and conditioning coaches could put their name on Advocare, well, maybe I could too. I also want to point out we do have a couple doctors on our Sports Advisory Council. On the very top line, you'll see Dr. Todd Miller. I talked about the National Strength and Conditioning Association just a little bit ago. Well, Dr. Todd Miller is on the board of directors of our the National Strength and Conditioning Association. Once I saw this, folks, another level of my skepticism was knocked down. And what I'd like to do next is introduce Brad Skip, who is actually the person that introduced Advocare to me. Brad has been an athletic trainer for nearly 20 years, did an internship with the Detroit Lions, had an opportunity to work with the track team at the Olympic Games in '96. He's worked with USA women's rowing, canoeing, and kayak teams. He was also the head athletic trainer for the Orlando Sharks, which is a MILS team, pro soccer team. He also was the head athletic trainer for Orlando City Soccer Club, and currently, right now, is athletic trainer with the United States Tennis Association, working with the men's pro circuit. When Brad talks about informed choice for all the parents out there, really pay attention to our endorsers, because these are the last two bits of information that I needed to see before I was willing to try any of the products. Brad, take it away.
Hey, Drew, thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you very much for all of you who are taking time out of your Thursday night to spend it with us. I would like to tell you how I became involved with Advocare. I was introduced to Advocare 2 summers ago by Snow and Kurt when I was working for the Orlando City Soccer Club. At that time, it wasn't for me. But 3 months later, when I ended up moving to Birmingham, Alabama, this 24-day challenge that they kept talking about kept sticking in my head, and I decided to take this challenge. Well, after the 24 days, I had lost 18 pounds, and I went down 2 notches on my belt. Now, the 18 pounds was impressive, but I was a yo-yo dieter, so I had done that before. But what really caught my attention was the fact that I went down 2 notches on my belt. Now, as an athletic trainer for 20 years and a strength and conditioning coach, I had always believed that all you needed to do was eat right and exercise in order to get results. However, I never got these kind of results. I was feeling good. I was getting great workouts in. So I had to step out of my comfort zone. I had to step, kind of look out of the box a little bit. And because I was feeling good, I decided to stay on the products while I researched the company. Like Drew had mentioned, I was a skeptic also. So I spent almost 3 months trying to punch holes into Advocare, and I couldn't do it. Everything that I looked at, I liked, and I ended up becoming an advisor last February of 2012 because I felt like I needed to share Advocare with other people. Some of the highlights have been I ended up losing almost 50 pounds. I went down 2 pant sizes. I went from a size 40 to a size 36. And I also completed a half marathon. I got a personal best. I completed it in 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 32 seconds. And that was a PR for me. And speaking of the Talladega, I got to throw in a little something that Austin Dillon and the Advocare number 3 car will be driving around that track on Saturday in the Nationwide Series. But Advocare has just, and at this point after that marathon, I was feeling the best that I'd ever felt. I felt like I finally looked and presented myself as an athletic trainer and a strength and conditioning coach. The business side of Advocare, this is now our Plan B income. Everything that I'm making now is going into our kids' college funds. And so Advocare has blessed me and my family, both health-wise and financially. But like Drew mentioned, part of our research, as we were digging in, or as I was digging in, this informed choice was the last piece of the puzzle that I needed. The Sports Advisory Council and the Science and Medical Board, those are really important to me. But I get asked all the time by parents and athletes about different products. Are these products safe? Are these products going to make me test positive in my next drug test? And if you've ever tried to read the back of a label, it's very intimidating. And when you can't pronounce some of the ingredients, you just can't say that it's good. So I had to say no. And then I found this Informed Choice. Informed Choice is a third-party organization that what they do is they verify that the ingredients that goes into these products are pure, that the products do not contain any banned substances, and that the products do not contain any contaminated substances. So anytime you see this check mark from Informed Choice, you know that you can take these products, that they're safe, that they've been tested, and you don't have to worry about any testing positive on drug tests or anything such as that. And that has taken all the second guessing away. I don't have to think. I can just look for this Informed Choice and know that my athletes are going to be protected and safe. And that is another reason why Advocare has over 100 non-paid endorsers. You can go right down this list. You can go baseball, basketball, soccer, football, NASCAR, and even the Olympics. These are non-paid endorsers, and I need to clarify that these athletes do get compensated with product. A lot of companies will pay athletes to represent their company, but Advocare does things a little bit different. Athletes actually have to go through a very rigorous screening process for them to become an endorser. And once they pass that, they are then they then become an endorser, but then they are compensated through product. And that is why so many athletes want to become an endorser. Number one, the products are safe. Number two, they know that they're high quality. And the most important thing that our national spokesperson, who is Drew Brees, the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, he says it all the time, the products just work. And you can see the pictures there of all the endorsers. Okay, that answered some of the questions that Drew and I had regarding being skeptics about Advocare. But after going through those and after seeing those, both Drew and I, we are very big Advocare supporters now. One thing I want to reiterate that Kurt said earlier, that not only are Drew and I going to be talking about these topics from a professional standpoint, but also from a parental standpoint. I have a 16-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son, both who are very active in sports. So I'm very confident that they could actually go through these 8 tips, and because I've ingrained these in their head. And Drew, he also, at the high school that he works at, he has basically 100, well, like 800 kids that he works with on a daily basis. So we also are taking this from a parental standpoint as well. The recipes for success. This was an article that was written by Rob Graff, and it was actually given to me by 2 close friends, Jane and Jonathan Loudermilk, who are here in Birmingham, but they have since left and are doing very successful in Ohio. But Rob Graff is the director of endorsements for Advocare, and he was a All-American discus thrower for Texas A&M University. He went on to become their strength and conditioning coach as well, and after that he went to be the strength and conditioning coach for the Detroit Lions before starting with Advocare. But like Drew and like myself, he was asked all the time, what can I do as a parent to give my son or daughter, would give my athlete an advantage obviously within the rules, to make them a better athlete. And Drew and I both believe very highly in these things, and it's also ordered, if you want to look at it, as if you were going through the day. So we'll just go ahead and we will start with number 1, which is eat a good breakfast. Now, I have to say that, Mom, you were right. You have to start the day off right and eat a good breakfast. You have to put fuel in the tank. If you don't have a good breakfast, you're always going to, you can't play catch up throughout the day. If you can't have eggs and if you can't have your oatmeal, then you should have a replacement shake. And grab a banana and an apple and a replacement shake, and you're good to go. The shakes come in 4 different flavors. They come in berry, vanilla, chocolate, and chocolate mocha. But you know with this shake that you're going to get a well-balanced meal, 220 calories, 24 grams of proteins, and 24 grams of carbs filled with vitamins and minerals. And this is just what you need to get started. You need to start with breakfast. On the bottom there's the Omegaplex. It's the omega-3 fatty acids, which is very good support for your cardiovascular system, as well as the Coreplex, which is a great multivitamin. And both of those, help fill in the gaps through your nutrition through the day. But you need to start with your tank full, and Mom, you were right. You got to eat a good breakfast. The second thing is you want to make sure that you have a snack, some type of mid-morning snack. Now, I see a lot of kids out at the bus stop at 6:30, and I know that some of them aren't eating lunch until 12:30. That is a long time to go without something to eat. We want to keep our metabolism up. We want to keep our metabolism engaged. And what happens is if you don't have a snack or something mid-morning, what happens? You become obviously very hungry. And when you become hungry, you have a tendency to overeat. And when you overeat, you tend to eat the wrong things because you're just hungry and you'll eat. And we know at the schools there's good things and there's bad things, and most kids will choose the bad things. So having that mid-morning snack will satisfy that craving, satisfy that hunger. And Advocare actually has a few more bars than this as well, but these are just some examples of some very balanced bars. The other thing is that they're small. They can fit in your backpack. They can fit in the locker. It's something that you can have in between classes. So having a mid-morning snack, having a bar of some sort is very important. All right, number 3. Drew, back to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Brad. Number 3, we're going to talk about fueling up before resistance training. We're going to talk about our amino acid supplement called Catalyst. For those not familiar with amino acids, they're basically the building blocks of our protein. We're going to, we're going to suggest taking this about 15 minutes before we resistance train. Basically what it's going to do, it's going to aid in preserving muscle and energy levels during the times of caloric restriction, which kind of reminds me of wrestling. Catalyst was actually created for our 1996 men's Olympic wrestling team due to their lack of calories whenever they're training. Next is number 4. We want to talk about exercising the right way. Now, whether it's a pro athlete or high school athlete, if you look at most strength and conditioning programs, they're going to be based on what's called periodization, which is progressive overload, which is a slow adaptation to allow specific demands on the body. So if we take, for example, a 10 or 12-week training cycle, the volume, which is your sets times your reps, should initially start out being high and then decrease over the training cycle. And if we look at our intensity, which is the load that our athletes are lifting, it should initially be light and move to a heavier load. Now, in this slide, we can see, a very, very young boy either trying to clean 2 1/4 or push press 2 1/4. And what we're trying to get across is, as strength coaches, we see athletes trying to lift 2 heavy weights, all the time. So we want to make sure we're using proper form and proper technique to prevent those injuries and making sure we're using the appropriate weight for the exercise. I can't tell you how many times I go into weight rooms and I see kids trying to squat 315, and their knees are buckling in, they're rounding their back. I'd much rather see an athlete use a weight of like maybe 135 pounds or 185 pounds, making sure, we're getting our knees about parallel, knees aren't coming over our toes, keeping them back nice and flat, because we always want to try and prevent injuries. The main purpose of an exercise program is not only to get stronger, but also to prevent injuries. So we always want to make sure we're going to use a spotter when we're going for those heavier lifts as well. Brad, would you like to talk about number 5?
Yes, and Drew, I'd like to thank your mom for sending that picture of you when you were a kid. That was a great picture of you doing that push request.
No problem.
Number 5, staying hydrated. People who know me, and I promised Drew I would keep this under 30 minutes, but staying hydrated is my favorite topic. I could talk about it all day, but when you are not hydrated, you tend to lose focus, and you tend to lose coordination, and that's when injuries happen. Now, you multiply that by the outdoor elements, by the environmental elements, and you add heat cramps. You had all the heat illnesses. You had heat cramps, you have heat exhaustion, and you have heat stroke. And I'll give you an example. If I'm working a tennis event and I get called to a court because a player is cramping, it's really too late. There's nothing that I can do. And the frustrating thing about that is 9 times out of 10, those cramping issues could be taken care of by simply being hydrated. Now, there's a misconception about hydration that you just have to drink during your activity, and that's false. You need to be drinking during activity, yes, but hydration actually starts The night before and the morning of. You need to be drinking water. You don't have to be drinking gallons and gallons, but you need to be drinking water. A good indication or a good barometer is that when you go to the bathroom, your urine should be a lighter color. That means that you are properly hydrated. If you go to the bathroom and your urine is a darker yellow, you need to be drinking more. And one of the good things is, I think a lot of people realize that water isn't just enough, that you really need to have a drink that has some electrolytes in it. And this is where I love the Rehydrate, because the Rehydrate stands out far superior than all the others. Just look at this chart. In blue, we're looking at the carbohydrates, and we see that the sugars are very low, and that's because Rehydrate does not use sugar as an energy source. In the yellow, these are electrolytes. It's been shown time and time again that when you exercise, the electrolyte that you lose the most is sodium, which is salt. The second one is potassium, and that's why you hear if somebody's cramping, you need to get them a banana. Well, yes, they have potassium, but what is a solid going to do? It's not very readily absorbable. So the fact that the sodium and the potassium here is in a 1-to-1 ratio is really, really a good thing. It also has some of these other trace electrolytes. In the green, we have vitamins. And the purple, they're B vitamins. The vitamins, they're antioxidants. They help clean things out. And the B vitamins is where we get our energy from. And the really neat thing that makes Rehydrate so wonderful is in the blue, the amino acids. And basically, to keep it simple, what the amino acids do is that they allow the electrolytes there in yellow to be easily absorbed into the body. And that is the biggest difference between Rehydrate and other electrolyte drinks. Now, if you are a cramper, if you have problems with cramps, Rehydrate should be your new best friend. And because of this process, cramping will no longer be an issue. A year ago, they came out with the Rehydrate gels, and I like to call that power in a pouch. These are perfect. I know in Florida, the youth triathletes, the triathlons are just exploding down there. This is a great thing to have on your bike or on your run. It's great for half times of soccer games, of basketball games, but staying hydrated and using that barometer of the color of your urine is very, very important. Number 6 is you need to enhance the recovery. With recovery after an event, we have a magic window of about 30 to 45 minutes where the energy stores that we have just used, they are open and receptive to being refueled. The problem is we usually miss that window. What happens when, or after the game, they usually get, the team usually gets talked to by the coach. And we all know that if we win the game, it's usually a short talk, and if we lose the game, it's usually a longer talk. So there's time lost there. You need to go to the locker room, you need to change, you need to call your boyfriend, you need to call your girlfriend. So there's time wasting away there. And for those of us, as a parent, the soccer tournaments, basketball tournaments, what do you do after a game? Well, let's all go out to dinner. Well, you have to spend about 10 minutes deciding and agreeing upon a place where everybody can go. Then you have to spend 15 minutes getting to that place where you're going to go. And then you meet the hostess, and the hostess says, what, party of 20? It's going to be another 20-minute wait. So there, the window of opportunity is shut. That is why I like these post-workout recovery shakes, because after the coach talks, on the walk back to the car, you can start the recovery process. I want to make it clear that this is not a replacement of the after-activity meal. But this is something that is going to get those energy sources refueled at their most optimum time, which is between that 30 and 40 minutes. It's going to help with muscle soreness. It's going to help start the muscle repair. So the post-workout recovery is very important. Number 7, building up.
Number 7, we're going to talk about building up. I want to take a few minutes and talk about protein. The average athlete needs to consume about 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if we take a 200-pound athlete, that athlete needs to be consuming around 160 grams of protein a day. Now, your body can only break down about 30 to 40 grams of protein every 3 to 4 hours, so that's why we recommend 5 or 6 smaller meals throughout the day and make sure that each of those has protein. So I can't think of a better way to get that protein into the adolescent athlete than our muscle gain, our Pro 20. The muscle gain is a 3-to-1 ratio of proteins to carbs. As you can see on the slide, it's got 25 grams of protein. What's different about Advocare's protein is it's already hydrolyzed. What that means, it's already broken down, which will allow for better absorption. And we also put 2 enzymes in there to also help with absorption as well. The Pro 20 is basically a liquid form of the muscle gain. There's 20 grams of protein in this shot. Also had some B vitamins and some electrolytes. You know, I'd recommend the Pro 20 for someone who's either has a busy lifestyle, you know, which our young athletes do all the time. They can put it in their book bag after workout. They can drink it real easily. Or maybe for someone, an athlete, maybe like a wrestler who's looking to get that protein, but is not wanting to increase their caloric intake. The next thing I like to do is talk about number 8, which is rest. And I want to talk about not just daily rest, but also about seasonal rest. Basically, to summarize this slide, you can do steps 1 through 7, but if you don't get the rest, then basically the steps 1 through 7 almost don't matter. So for daily rest, you know, our athletes need to be getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. What this is going to do is we have to do a better job as coaches and parents getting across to these athletes that they're going to grow and they're going to get stronger and become a better athlete when they're away from the gym. You know, I can't tell you how many times I'll see our athletes working out in their high school, and then maybe like an hour later I'll go to like a local YMCA and I see them working out again, getting the same lifts. You know, these kids, they think that more is better, and more is not better. Actually, they do a workout with their team, a couple hours later do another workout, basically just breaking down their previous workout. So once again, you know, I think we need to, you know, get across to these younger athletes that more is always better. And then I want to talk about seasonal rest. And let's take like a 3 to 4 month season, which, you know, currently we're in the baseball season. The last thing that I would recommend after a long season is to go straight into summer baseball after high school or middle school baseball. What we need to recommend is what I call active rest. Maybe take 2 or 3 weeks, get away from the mode of exercise you're used to for the past 3 or 4 months. If it's baseball, you know, encourage your athletes to go play some basketball, go swimming, ride a bike. What this is going to do is it's going to help them out physically and mentally as well, and it's going to help prevent any overuse injuries that we're actually starting to see more and more of in the sports med community. So if we recap the steps of success, recipe for success, number 1, we want to eat a good breakfast. Number 2, snack before lunch. Number 3, fuel up before resistance training. Number 4, exercise the right way. Number 5, stay hydrated. 6, enhance the recovery. 7, build up. And 8, really important, make sure that athlete's getting the rest that they need. Back to you, Kurt.
Wow, guys, that's some really good stuff. I learned a lot from that, and I always do from you guys. I'm glad you guys use small words because otherwise I couldn't keep up with you. So thank you for that. But, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of parents on the line thinking, gosh, you know, I don't have Drew Brees' budget. I can't afford to go out and buy every single product that you guys mentioned today or every product in the Advocare lineup. if you guys could, just what if you had to choose two products, what would they be? Brad?
Well, for me, I think hopefully people heard it in my voice. Rehydrate is my favorite. I don't think that you need to stay hydrated, and I just don't think that there's anything out there that's better than that. Hydration is super important. The second thing would be the recovery. It doesn't matter what you put in your body beforehand. If you do not recover from your previous activity, you're not going to perform well. So my two favorites are rehydrate and recovery.
That's great. Drew?
Sure, I totally agree with what Brad said. Rehydrate's a great product, and also just one ditto what he said, post-workout recovery. From a high school athletic trainer's perspective, when we've got class starts at 7:20, early bird that starts an hour before that, most of my athletes aren't even eating breakfast at all, and if they do, they're eating like a Pop-Tart or something like that. That's just not going to give them the nutrition that they need. So my second recommendation for breakfast will be the meal replacement shakes.
Oh, that's awesome. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. You know, my favorite product line is the 24-Day Challenge. That's what got Snow and I jump-started. It's not necessarily something you want to put your kids on, although many of the products in the 24-Day Challenge are safe and effective for kids. I personally love Spark, and you know, that's our number one drink for mental focus. And but I'm a huge fan of the 24-Day Challenge. So sorry if I cheated and went out of the parameters of the webinar a little bit here for student athletes. But you know, as you on the call are looking at these different products, you might be thinking, okay, that's great. You know, I got some great tips here. Now I know what to do. How do I get these products, or how do I get involved? And so one of the many things I love about Advocare is that you have a different choice of how to get involved. So if you just want to get some products, then you can get with whoever invited you to this webinar or whoever shared Advocare with you, and they can help you get the products, but you can buy the products at a retail price. You can go onto the website and have them shipped to your own home for full price and get great products. Some people like a discount, and so Advocare offers a 20% discount. It's $79, and you get your own online store or website. And so you can go online and order the products whenever you like, have them shipped directly to your home. And so that's very convenient. And as I said, some people really love a discount. And for those people, we want to help you get a better value so that you can maybe get more than one or two of the products. And then the third way is a distributor. So what happens is a lot of people get to that 20% discount, and they have other people saying, wow, I see your boy or your girl is drinking that Rehydrate or drinking a Spark, or you've lost some weight, you look great. What are you doing? And some people take that opportunity to share the Advocare products with those that they know, those people that ask, and you know, they might earn enough part-time income maybe to pay for their products, or you know, maybe an extra $200 a month to you know, help their current financial situation or what have you. And we call that kind of a hobby distributor, and that's the number 3 way that you can get involved or engage with Advocare. And then the fourth way is, and that is what Snow and I and Brad and Drew and so many others are doing. You know, in today's economy, and as we work with so many families, since we've been in this business for 3 years, we started off with the products and just changing people's life through health. But what we quickly learned was that not only is there a health crisis in our country, there's a financial crisis in our country. And there's a lot of people out there where $500, $1,000, $2,000 extra dollars a month part-time would just make a tremendous difference in their financial future. So, you know, as Brad said, that money's going to the college fund, and for Drew, that's paying some extra bills. It's allowed him to bring a young girl into his house and really has helped them out. So we've helped just out a bunch of families, and that fourth way to get involved is to become a business builder in Advocare at the 40% discount level. And we'll talk, and you can get with whoever invited you on this call, and they can share with you more in detail of how to get to each one of those levels. So right now, I would just, you know, ask you to maybe make a note on which one of those you think is most interesting to you. And then just know, if you become a business builder in Advocare, if you really want to make some money in Advocare, we get paid 5 ways. And so you'll see the first way is retail profits. So when Snow and I started out, we bought products, retail products. And so the person who we were buying from was at a 40% discount level. So he earned 40% on the products that we ordered. So that's retail products. Retail profits. Some people sign up for the discount, so they might get a 20% discount. If I'm at I'm a business builder at 40%, and somebody pays the $79 and gets a 20% discount, I get the difference of that 40%. So I would make 20% on that. So that's wholesale commission. Overrides and leadership bonuses are what we get paid for building an organization, building a team of folks. And that happens over time, and overrides pay 7% of business volume, and you can see there that leadership bonuses pay 3 to 19% of business volume. And then the 5th way is pay period bonuses and incentives. We have a great rookie bonus program for anyone who's a new business builder for a year. Advocare gives out a share of $20,000 every 2 weeks. So, for example, Snow and I, our 10th week in the business, earned a first place $6,000 rookie bonus. So that can be a really huge game changer. So again, get with whoever invited you on this call, or feel free to reach out with one of us, and we'll be glad to walk through this in greater detail. And then finally, can you make some money here in Advocare? So I just want to share with you that the silver pin level, that top level, if you're looking at the screen on the left, pays an average of about $1,000 a month. And so Brad is at the silver pin level, and Drew is in qualification for the silver pin level. And if you go on down there, you can see that 6-star ruby level at $100,000 a year. That's where Snow and I are. And you can just kind of look to the right and see the salary compensation. Now, what I will say is everyone that I know that's on our team, and most everyone I know in Advocare, starts out at part-time, Plan B income, anywhere from 2 to 5 to 10 hours a week. And so when you look at the income comparisons here, just know that that this is a business that most people start part-time and continues part-time as a Plan B until it gets to the point where it can be a Plan A, if that's what you choose. So again, one of the things I love about Advocare is it's about choices. So if you decide to do the business, you really have a choice on picking your level there and deciding if you're ready to go to work to get to that level. And then finally, I'll say, a lot of people have a question of what's my timing in Advocare? If I decided to do this business, what's timing? Well, I just got to share with you, Advocare is a company that's been around for 20 years, and I'm super excited about that because it's an established company. And if you look right here, we're sponsors of 2 NASCAR races, the Atlanta 500 and the Phoenix 500. As Brad mentioned earlier, we're going to be driving around Talladega in the number 3 car, Austin Dillon's car. So we sponsor that car as well. We're jersey sponsors for FC Dallas. We're sponsors for the Advocare Independence Bowl, and as I understand, it's no longer going to be the Independence Bowl. It's just going to be the Advocare Bowl. We're title sponsors of Operation Homefront, and so much more. We're getting out there in the community. In fact, there was a singer on The Voice last night, and I saw a picture of her holding up a spark. So we're rapidly becoming a household name. We're one of the fastest-growing companies in the United States, and it's just exciting. It's an exciting time here in Advocare to be around. So I just wanted to share with that in closing. So what's next? Number one, get with get with whoever invited this call and thank them. I thank you for being on the call, but thank them. They actually saw something in Advocare that would provide a solution for you. And then they can answer you any questions, or they can get you in touch with myself, Brad, Snow, Drew, or whoever their sponsor is, so we can get your question answers. What we have coming up next, we have some more performance product webinars. We do quite a few events around the 24-day challenge and our weight loss line, but we're very fortunate to have Brad and Drew, who are experts in this Perform line of products, and so we're going to do more on that. We're going to be hosting some trim and wellness webinars coming up as well, And then for more information, you can always go to the teamforhope.com, or you can join us at our Facebook page at Team Hope. And so once again, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thanks a lot and have a great night. Bye.